Hi guys, I hope you're all okay. Today I'm going to talk you through how to round numbers. So we're rounding to 10, to 100, to 1,000 and to 10,000. But before we do that, I've got a video that might just help you with it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to explain that song. I know it was amazing. And I'm going to explain to you how you can use that to help you remember with your rounding numbers. So, for example, I've got 13,483. I know it's the wrong way around on your screens, but you see where I'm getting at with it. So, if I, for example, we'll start really easy, we'll start with rounding to the nearest 10. So what I need to do is I need to find my place. So I'm rounding to 10, so I need to be in my tens column. So I need to find my place. I need to look next door, which is a 3, 4 or less, let it rest. So I know that my 8 will stay the same because I'm letting it rest. And then look to the right, put zeros in sight. So everything after the place value column that you're in will then turn to zeros. So to round to the nearest 10 would be 13,480. If I was doing it to the nearest 100, then I would find my place. So my place is in the hundreds column, so it's a 4. I would look next door, so find my place, look next door, which is an 8. 5 or more, you've got to raise the score. So I know that my 4 needs to turn into a 5. And then look to the right, put zeros in sight. So I would, in my tens and my units column, I would put zeros. So my answer would be 13,500. If I was doing it to 1,000, I'd do the same. So I would find my place. I'm in the thousands, so I need to be into my thousands column. I would look next door, which is a 4, 4 or less, let it rest. So I'm going to leave my 3 to rest, I'm not going to touch that. And then I'm going to put zeros inside, so they will all turn to zeros. So my answer will be 13,000. And if I was going to do it to the nearest 10,000, I would go into my 10,000ths column because that's the place I need to be. So I would look in my 10,000ths column and that's a 1. I would look next door and that's a 3, 4 or less, let it rest. So my 1 is going to rest. I'm not going to touch that. And then look to the right and put zeros inside. So all of my other place value columns will then have zeros in them, which will give me 10,000. So what I want you to do is, it might be easy for you if you draw your place value. So a bit like I did. So you've got your 10,000s column, your thousands, your hundreds, your tens, your units. And what I want you to do is I want you to have a go at doing this. So If you've got a dice at home, you only need one. Or if you haven't got a dice, get some paper, cut it up, put the numbers 1 to 9 on all the different pieces of paper. And I want you to roll your dice 5 times or pick up a piece of paper 5 times. And I want you to make a 5-digit number. So then you've got your 10,000s, your thousands, your hundreds, your tens, and your ones. And then I want you to have a go with whatever number you create. So it could be like 15,436. You might have rolled those numbers. What I'd like you to do is to then have a go at rounding it to the nearest 10. So like I did here, so remember you go into your tens column for that. You'll round it to the nearest 100, the nearest 1,000, and the nearest 10,000. So if you do that and you think, that's a bit easy, I want a bit of a challenge, I'm going to show you how to also round decimal numbers to whole numbers. So if, for example, my number was 13.4. So if you look at my place value, so I'm only going to use the bottom half of it. So my tens, my units, obviously I've got my decimal point, really important, my tenths and my hundredths. So using the same knowledge we had before, we're going to find our place. We're rounding it to the nearest whole number, so we're going to be in our units column because it's the last number before our decimal point. So I'm in my units column, so I'll find my place. I'm going to look next door, and that's a 4 or less. Got to let it rest. So I know that my 3 isn't going to change. So if I'm rounding it to the nearest whole number, it would be 13. If, for example, I had, what number shall we have? If I had 51, oh, my pen's run out, 51.6. So I've got 51.6, you can't see it very well because my pen's running out. So 51.6, I need to find my place. I'm doing it to the nearest whole number, so I'm in my units column, which is a 1. I would look next door, and that's a 6. 5 or more, we've got to raise the score. So I know that my 1 needs to be made bigger. So my answer would be 52. And if it helps you remember, then put your decimal point in again, and you can put the zeros to the right. So you can put your 0 into your tenths column to help you remember. But when you're writing it, you can just put 52 because you don't need, there's nothing after your decimal point, you don't really need it there. If that's too easy for you, you're looking at that and thinking, I can already do that. That's not really a challenge. We're also gonna look at doing it with 2 decimal places. So let's do 34.36. So again, I'm doing it to the nearest whole number, so I'm in my units column. So I found my place. I'm going to look next door, which is a 3. 4 or less, I'm going to let it rest. So I'm going to leave my 4 to rest, so it will still be 34. And then I put my zeros to the right. So in my tenths column and my hundredths column, I would have zeros, but like I said before, you don't need to worry about having them written in. It might just be a better way to help you remember that you've rounded it up so there's nothing left in the decimals. So another example for that would be, let's do this one. 69. That's a 6. That's not a 9. 69.74. So again, nearest whole number. So I'm in my units, that's my place. I'm going to look next door and there's a 7. So I know I need to raise the score, so I need to make my number bigger. Obviously you can't make 9 bigger because you're down into your tens column. So what you'd need to do is you'd look at the number 69, think what's 1 more than 69? 70. So your answer will be 70. Because even though you can't raise the score of what's in your units column, if you raise your whole number, so your tens and your units, if you raise it one more, it will give you 70. So my answer, if I was rounding 69.74 to the nearest whole number, my answer would be 70. So I hope that has helped you guys. If you've got any questions, let me know. And I hope you enjoy rounding your numbers. Good luck.